All right, so today we're diving into the world of the vaquita.
Is a vaquita.
And I think a lot of our listeners are probably familiar with these little guys.
Oh, yeah.
But just to kind of recap,
Yeah.
they're the world's smallest marine mammal.
That's right.
And sadly also
the most endangered.
The most endangered.
Yes.
Fewer than 10 left in the wild.
It's hard to even fathom.
Yeah, it really is.
That there are so few left.
Almost unbelievable.
Yeah.
And these little porpoises are often called little cows in Spanish, which I always thought was kind of cute.
It is.
And they're only found in a very small area of the Gulf of California.
That's right. A very limited range, which unfortunately makes them even more vulnerable.
Exacerbates the issue, for sure.
Yeah.
So today's deep dive is going to stem from a really interesting article.
Okay.
Published by Florida Atlantic University.
Okay.
Back on February 7th of 2025. Titled, Digital Resurrection. Scientists are on a mission to preserve the world's most endangered marine mammal.
Catchy title.
Yeah, it really grabs your attention.
It does.
Digital resurrection.
Makes you think.
Makes you think, yeah, how can you possibly bring back an animal digitally?
Right.
And
that's what we're going to explore.
That's exactly what we're going to explore.
That's the crux of the matter.
So let's get right into it.
Okay.
So the article mentions that the vaquita population has plummeted by...
It's a staggering number.
Yeah.
99% since 1997.
99%.
I mean, back then there were around 600 of them.
600 and now fewer than 10.
It's a heartbreaking decline.
It really is.
So we have to ask ourselves...
What happened?
What happened? What led to this?
Yeah, what's the cause of this drastic decline?
Well, the primary threat comes from illegal gill nets.
These gill nets.
Yeah, they're used to catch totuaba fish. And the reason they're so sought after is their swim bladders.
Okay. Right, and those swim bladders are incredibly valuable.
Oh, incredible.
From the black market.
Yes, they fetch a high price.
And it's
really fueling this whole trade.
Yeah, the illegal wildlife trade. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
It is.
Driven by, I mean, I hate to say it, but often affluent consumers.
Yeah.
Who believe that these swim bladders...
They have medicinal properties.
Right, medicinal properties.
But it's driving this species to extinction.
It's a really complex issue.
It is.
You know, it's not just about conservation.
Yeah.
It's about economic and cultural beliefs all kind of intertwined.
Exactly.
And the article highlights that even with these conservation efforts, gill net bans have been put in place.
Right.
But it's still happening.
It's still happening. That illegal totoaba trade continues.
Yeah.
And organized crime is involved, so...
It's a really difficult problem to tackle.
Very difficult.
Yeah. And, you know, we've seen attempts to keep vaquitas in captivity.
Right, to try to safeguard them.
Safeguard them.
Yeah. Give them a chance.
Give them a chance.
But unfortunately, those attempts haven't been successful.
Yeah, it's really sad to hear that.
It is.
It really makes their future uncertain.
It does.
But there is a little bit of hope here.
There is.
Even though things in the wild are looking really bleak.
Yeah.
Scientists are exploring.
Kind of a groundbreaking approach.
Yeah.
Digital preservation.
Digital preservation.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
I mean, I'm really interested to see
where it goes.
Where it goes, yeah.
So Florida Atlantic University, they're collaborating with SeaWorld San Diego.
SeaWorld?
And the San Diego Natural History Museum.
Wow. So a lot of different institutions coming together.
It's a joint effort.
Yeah, really.
To try to make this happen.
To make this happen, yeah.
And what makes it even more remarkable
is the specimen they're using.
Yeah.
It's one of the only complete vaquita skeletons in the United States.
That's incredible.
And it dates back to the 1960s.
The 1960s.
Yeah. So it's a pretty, I mean, talk about a unique opportunity.
It is. It is.
To really capture the anatomy of this species.
In such detail.
Yeah.
It's unprecedented.
Yeah. The article actually describes how one of the FAU researchers.
I think her name is Jamie Knobb.
Jamie Knobb, that's right.
Yeah.
She personally transported this skeleton.
As carry-on luggage.
Carry-on luggage.
I mean, can you imagine?
Through airport security.
Going through security with that.
Yeah, like, excuse me, what is this?
I'm sure she got some strange looks.
I would think so.
It's like something out of a movie.
Yeah, totally.
But, you know, it made it to FAU safe and sound.
So this incredibly fragile skeleton, a real relic from the past, arrives at FAU. And what they do with it.
Well, this is where it gets really interesting.
I'm hooked already.
They use this high-resolution micro-CT scanning process.
Okay, now break that down for me.
So think of it like a super powerful X-ray.
Okay.
That can see through bone.
Wow.
It captures incredibly detailed 3D images of the skeleton, revealing all these tiny features
that you wouldn't normally be able to see.
you wouldn't be able to see with the naked eye.
That's fascinating.
Isn't it?
So they basically created a digital blueprint
Of the entire vaquita skeleton.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really groundbreaking.
So what happens to that digital information?
Well, the great thing is they're going to make it publicly available.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Who gets to see it?
Researchers, educators, really anyone who's interested
Wow.
can study the vaquita's anatomy in detail.
So this is through
It's going to be on Morphosource,
Raphosaurus.
which is like a digital library
Okay.
for 3D models of all kinds of organisms.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a fantastic resource.
So anyone around the world can access this.
Absolutely global access to this information.
What a great way to share knowledge
It really is.
and promote collaboration.
Yeah, breaking down those barriers.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And SeaWorld San Diego,
Okay.
they're taking it a step further.
Really? How so?
They're going to create physical replicas.
Physical replicas.
Yeah, of the skeleton
Wow.
for educational purposes.
That's amazing.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. So even if the worst happens.
And these vaquitas disappear from the wild.
Yeah.
We'll still have these digital and physical representations
To learn from.
to study, to appreciate them.
To remember them.
Exactly. Their legacy will live on.
This raises a lot of questions
Oh, definitely.
about digital preservation efforts.
So much to unpack.
So much to unpack, and we'll definitely delve into those
After a short break,
after a short break.
we'll be right back.
We'll be right back. So this digital archive, it's pretty incredible when you think about the potential not just for vaquitas, but for other endangered species too.
Absolutely. I mean, this technology, it could be huge. It's
Yeah.
not just about one species.
Right.
It's about, creating these digital records of so many animals
Yeah.
facing threats. It's like almost a digital Noah's Ark
A digital Noah's Ark.
for the
Yeah.
21st century.
I like that.
I mean, it's a powerful image, isn't it?
It is.
And the opportunities
Yeah.
for research and education, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, break it down for me. What kind of opportunities are we talking about?
Okay, so imagine this.
Okay.
You have access to these detailed 3D models.
Right.
It could revolutionize how we study anatomy,
Okay.
behavior, evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of relying on limited physical specimens,
Yeah.
researchers could examine these digital models
From anywhere.
from anywhere in the world.
So like a scientist in Japan
Exactly.
could be studying the skeletal structure?
Of a vaquita
Wow.
without ever having to set foot in the Gulf of California.
That's incredible.
And for education.
Yeah.
Well, the possibility. I mean, students could virtually dissect a vaquita,
Oh, wow.
explore its skeletal structure, learn about its adaptations,
All digitally.
all through a digital model. I mean, come on.
That's really cool.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. But I do wonder
Yeah.
if a virtual experience can really capture the complexity.
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. And the urgency of these real-world conservation challenges.
Right.
What do you think?
Well, you bring up a good point. I mean,
Yeah.
virtual experiences can be powerful tools for education and engagement,
Yeah.
but they shouldn't replace real-world conservation efforts.
Right. Of course.
We still need to protect those habitats,
Yeah.
address threats like poaching, and work with local communities to find sustainable solutions.
So it's about finding the right balance
Exactly.
between using these really cool, amazing new technologies
Yeah.
and addressing the root causes of biodiversity loss.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So technology, it's a crucial role in conservation,
For sure.
but it's not the be-all and end-all.
Right. It's not a magic bullet, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's a tool
Like that.
to be used thoughtfully and strategically.
So bringing back to the vaquita,
Mm-hmm.
how can these digital preservation efforts
Okay.
actually help protect them in the real world?
All right. Well, let's think about this. Those 3D models,
Yeah.
they can be used to design more effective fishing gear.
To reduce bycatch.
Exactly. Reduce the risk of entanglement.
Okay.
And they can be used to educate fishers
About the vaquita?
about the importance of avoiding their habitat
So connecting the digital world.
to on-the-ground conservation.
Yeah. That's really cool.
It's powerful stuff.
But behind all of this,
Yeah.
I mean, these 3D models are amazing, but behind them,
It's the people.
yeah, it's the people. It's a team of people who are so passionate about this.
Absolutely. They're dedicated to saving the vaquita.
Totally. And in the article mentions that SeaWorld San Diego, they're planning to use these models
Oh, yeah.
to create physical replicas
I love it.
of the vaquita skeleton.
It's bringing it to life.
Yeah, and they're going to use those for education.
Engaging the public, spreading awareness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, so bridging the gap between science
And the public.
and the public.
It's so important. Yeah, I think technology has a huge role to play in that.
Absolutely, getting people excited about conservation.
And not just preserving the physical form of a species,
Right.
but using technology to understand and protect its future.
That's the key.
Do you think this type of technology could be used to predict future threats?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
I mean, you take these 3D models,
Yeah.
combine them with other data
Like what?
about the vaquita's environment, their
Mhm.
behavior.
Yeah.
You can create these sophisticated models
Wow.
to predict how they might respond to threats.
Like climate change.
Exactly. Climate change, other environmental factors.
So we're talking about a much more proactive approach.
Absolutely. Conservation.
Using technology to anticipate and mitigate those future challenges.
That's really exciting.
It's the future of conservation.
Speaking of fighting chances,
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier that attempts to keep vaquitas in captivity
It's been tough.
haven't been successful.
Yeah, not so far. Is there any discussion about using technology to help with that?
There is actually
Ooh, wow.
ongoing research into using advanced technologies
And what kind of technologies?
to create, more suitable environments for them.
For captive vaquitas.
Exactly. But it's a huge challenge.
I can imagine.
No guarantee of success.
But the hope is to eventually reintroduce them
That's the dream.
back into the wild.
If those threats can be mitigated,
It's a long shot.
it is, but we have to try.
Absolutely. I think we have to explore every avenue.
I agree.
So we've been talking about the potential benefits
Yeah.
of all of this.
Of this digital preservation effort.
But are there any downsides
That's a great question.
or ethical concerns that we should be aware of?
Well, it's important to remember that technology is a tool.
Right.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
Absolutely.
So in this case,
Yeah.
we need to be mindful of how this information is used. Who has access to it? We don't want to create a false sense of security,
Right.
thinking that digital preservation is a substitute for protecting them in the wild.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It has to go hand in hand.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement
Oh,
of
definitely.
these new technologies.
Shiny new toys.
Yeah, exactly.
But we have to be mindful.
Of the potential downsides.
Absolutely.
And we've seen how technology can be misused in other areas.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of examples.
So safeguards are important.
Essential.
What are some key things we need to think about?
Okay. Well, first and foremost,
Yeah.
transparency.
Transparency. Okay.
We need to be open about how these technologies are developed, how the data is collected, who's using it, who benefits,
Yeah, that's really important.
and engagement with local communities.
Absolutely.
Leaseholders,
Mm-hmm.
making sure their perspectives are considered,
Right.
that the benefits are shared equitably.
Collaboration and open dialogue.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, really important to ensure these technologies are used ethically and responsibly.
That's the goal.
And as we've been discussing, the vaquita, it's a reminder
Yeah.
that technology alone
It's not enough.
can't solve these complex environmental problems.
We need a multifaceted approach.
So we need a more holistic approach
Exactly.
that combines technological innovation
Yes.
with social, economic, and political solutions.
It's a big puzzle
It is.
with a lot of pieces.
And we have to address the root causes,
Of course.
like habitat destruction,
Climate change.
unsustainable consumption.
The big ones.
Yeah, it's a big challenge,
It is.
but we can't ignore it.
Absolutely not.
And I think the vaquita story really highlights that.
It does.
So we've learned a lot in this deep dive
A lot to think about.
about the vaquita and the potential of digital preservation.
A lot of potential.
What other thoughts or questions does this raise for you?
Well, for me, the story of the vaquita is just this powerful reminder
Of what?
of the interconnectedness of everything, of all living things. Yeah, all living things. And it's a reminder of our responsibility
To future generations.
to protect this incredible diversity of life on Earth.
Absolutely.
It's a precious thing.
Yeah, it is.
And we need to fight for it.
And it's a message of hope and urgency
Couldn't agree more.
to act now.
Yes.
Now to protect our planet's biodiversity.
It's not too late.
So it's been an incredible journey
It has.
exploring the world of the vaquita
Fascinating creatures.
and these innovative efforts to preserve them.
It's inspiring.
What stands out to you the most from what we've learned?
You know, what really strikes me
Yeah.
is the power of human ingenuity.
Yeah.
And collaboration.
Absolutely.
Even in the face of these seemingly insurmountable challenges,
Yeah.
we find ways
Push the boundaries.
of knowledge, of technology to protect the natural world.
The vaquita story shows that even though the situation may seem bleak,
There's always hope.
there's always hope.
And there's always something we can do to make a difference.
That's a powerful reminder.
It is.
And I think it's important for everyone listening to realize we can all play a part
Absolutely.
in protecting our planet's incredible biodiversity.
In big ways and small ways.
Whether it's supporting conservation organizations,
Making conscious choices in our daily lives.
reducing our environmental footprint,
Spreading awareness.
speaking up for the voiceless.
Every action counts.
Absolutely. And while the vaquita's future is uncertain,
Yeah.
stories like this,
Or they give us hope.
they demonstrate that we can make a difference
We can.
when we work together
Collaboration is key.
and leverage the power of technology for good.
Technology can be a force for good.
So thanks for joining us
It's been a pleasure.
on this deep dive into the world of the vaquita.
Until next time.
You know, it's amazing to me how a tiny porpoise, from this little corner of the Gulf of California,
Yeah.
can really spark such a huge conversation
I know, right?
about technology and conservation and really just our role, on this planet.
It really highlights how interconnected everything is.
It does.
Like, you can't talk about saving a species without considering all these factors.
Right.
The human element, the technology, the ethical questions, it's all tied together.
Yeah. And we've talked about so much
Yeah.
digital preservation, 3D modeling.
Virtual reality, augmented realities.
Yeah. It feels like we're on the cusp of something big.
Absolutely. A whole new era of conservation.
Driven by technology.
Technology is the game changer.
Yeah, we're already seeing some really cool applications.
Oh, tons.
Like, what? Give me some examples.
All right, so think about AI,
Okay.
artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
analyzing huge amounts of data on animal behavior.
Oh, wow.
Or drones monitoring these remote habitats.
Right. Places that are hard to get to.
We can track migrations,
Mhm.
identify poaching hotspots,
And really get a sense of the health of the ecosystem.
all thanks to technology.
It's like giving these conservationists
Superpower.
Yeah, superpowers.
To understand and protect nature.
But, like you said earlier, we have to be cautious.
Right. Technology is a tool.
Right.
And it can be used in the wrong way.
So how do we ensure that we're using it responsibly?
Well, we need to think critically
Okay.
about the downsides, the unintended consequences,
Right.
the ethical considerations. That's crucial.
So, for example, data privacy. You mentioned that earlier.
Huge one. We need to make sure this information is protected.
Yeah, doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Exactly.
And also, we don't want to get so focused on the digital side of things
Right.
that we neglect the real world.
Absolutely. Digital preservation should enhance real-world conservation.
Not replace it.
The goal is to protect species in their natural habitat,
In the wild.
where they belong.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of the vaquita,
It's been quite a journey.
what are some key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, first, I hope they walk away with a sense of wonder.
For the vaquita.
For the vaquita, for all life on Earth.
Yeah,
These creatures are incredible.
they are.
And their story reminds us that nature is both beautiful and fragile.
And that we're all connected.
Exactly. We're part of this intricate web of life.
And our actions matter.
Our actions have consequences.
But beyond that sense of wonder, I think there's also a message of hope here.
I agree.
It's easy to feel overwhelmed,
Yeah.
given the state of the planet, but
the vaquita story shows us
that we can make a difference.
even in the face of these huge challenges.
Yeah, human ingenuity and resilience.
That's what it's all about.
So for anyone listening who's feeling inspired,
Yeah.
what advice would you give them?
Learn more, get involved, support organizations doing good work,
Make conscious choices.
reduce your footprint, speak up for the voiceless.
Every action counts.
Every single one.
And for those who want to dive deeper into the world of the vaquita, we'll have links in the show notes
To all sorts of great resources.
to learn more about conservation efforts.
The MorphoSource database.
Yeah, check out those 3D models.
Connect with organizations on the ground.
The future of our planet.
It's a collective responsibility.
We all have a part to play.
Stay curious, stay informed, stay engaged.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
And thanks to everyone for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been an amazing journey.
Until next time.
Take care.